guys, what's up? This is CarbonDuck, and today welcome back to another Minecraft mod update. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing you the Ice and Fire update that I don't have up the I can't zoom in. But today I am bringing you the Ice and Fire update that was released not too long ago, and it has well, not a lot of mobs, but a few new mobs and such. We're apparently supposed to get a lot of mobs for this update, but they decided to break it down and kind of make everything in little batches for the next for this update and for the next few updates to come along with it. So then I was so when I heard about that, I was like, why? But with that being said, though, let's get right into this. I don't want to bother you guys with any more things and such, other than there's a pixie in my little containment unit that I have here. I also have a bunch of pixies. I guess I might as well start with this area first, since there's some new blocks here and there, which I'll go over from over there. But there's some new blocks that I don't recall being in Ice and Fire. I'm not sure if these were actually here initially, but I'm gonna go over them anyway because I don't remember actually, you know, reviewing them. Hello, Pixie. I don't know how you got in here or you spawned through the houses, but the choice is yours. In case you guys don't know, these are cocoons. They're not Dragon Balls. These are cocoons, or they. You know what? They kind of do look like tests. So these are cocoons, and they simply are from the Myrmex people, or clan, or Myrmex bugs, whatever you want to call them. And they simply are only for the sole purpose of storing things. So if you were to give resin to a Myrmex, as you know, in order to be friends with these bug people, that is if they don't kill you first and cut off your arms and legs, it happens. What you want to do is actually give them resin, but sometimes there's not that much resin to go around, or at least there's too much resin to go around. Ain't that right, Pixie? That's exactly right. But anyways, so I don't know what I'm looking at, but half the time you're gonna need to at least find something or some way to store things for them, and they can actually also pick up things, and they will actually put them in the cocoons. And there's a really accurate but yet grotesque sound that goes along with opening these cocoons. I thought these cocoons would actually be like, you know, they would hatch out Myrmexes as cocoons would. But I guess not. You can store stuff in cocoon balls for the Myrmexes. And there's two different types, as there's two different types of Myrmexes, jungle and desert. Now, cool thing about these is you can actually craft your own cocoons. Don't worry, you don't need to put anything in anywhere and poop it out. In order to make a jungle Myrmex cocoon, what you're going to need to do here is get 4 sticky jungle Myrmex resins blocks and 4 jungle Myrmex resin. Now, in order to make a sticky jungle Myrmex resin, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need jungle Myrmex resin and jungle Myrmex resin chunks, which of course you get from the bug people, which is kind of hard to really get from them when they, you know, you can either kill them or steal it from them. But if you kill them, you kind of be on bad, you could be on bad terms with them, and it's not good. Point is, you're trying to be friends with them. You're not trying to, you know, commit murder on them. Or even genocide. In order to get jungle Myrmex resin, you're gonna need at least 2 jungle Myrmex resin chunks and 2 pieces of dirt, and then you get yourself jungle Myrmex resin. In order to get the next piece, which is the desert Myrmex resin, which is for the desert Myrmex people, or clan. I'm gonna call them clan, because I feel like calling them people is just racist. Anyways, so in order to get the desert Myrmex resin, you're gonna need 2 pieces of sand. 2 desert Myrmex resin chunks, and then you get yourself desert Myrmex resin. And then you're like, Carbon, how do I get sticky? Boom. Sticky desert Myrmex resin, 1 desert Myrmex resin for it, and 1 desert Myrmex resin chunk to craft together to make the sticky version of desert Myrmex resin. And then finally, in order to get desert Myrmex resin's cocoon, you gotta get 4 of these sticky desert Myrmex resin blocks, and just 4 other blocks of regular desert Myrmex resin, and then boom, you get yourself 2 nice balls. Just wanted to go over that in case anyone didn't know what the hell those were. Honestly, I thought there was supposed to be some bugs popping out of it. A lot of updates have been changed, especially besides new blocks. I mean, there's updates to the bestiary, and especially 2 new blocks that are actually my favorite. For here we got the block of dragon fire steel. It's not fire dragon steel. And it's made of dragon steel, but fire ingots. And it looks nice. Fire dragon steel ingots. I'm just gonna call it dragon fire steel. I'm gonna be real. That sounds cool. I'm sorry. This dragon doesn't make sense. Usually the things that don't make sense sound cool anyway. I mean, what? Turtle wave beam or whatever. And the next thing we got here is the ice dragon steel block, which is, you know, the other version of it. So if you want whichever version, fire or ice, you want to craft your house into, you can now. Or just store them. Have them packed up into blocks. I mean, basically, this is kind of brutal already and kind of butchered to begin with. Not just the wording. I mean, talking about the fact that it's made out of dragon blood. I wouldn't say edgy. I think that's metal as fuck. No pun intended. Next thing we got here is Myrmex glass. You got desert, obviously, and you got jungle version, obviously. So you can make desert glass or jungle glass. And then in this over here, this is just a hardened version of the Myrmex resin blocks. So yeah, you got desert, and then you got jungle. And also, there's like a bunch of new scales. Oh, this was always here, but I'm not sure purple was actually here before. There's apparently a purple sea serpent that you can find in the ocean. I'm pretty sure it did exist, but I just didn't see it before. But just wanted to point that out in case I didn't initially. Hold on, let me see how Lola's doing. Hello, Lily. How you doing? Good talk. Oh, I wonder how Vanilla's doing. I haven't heard from him in a while. Oh, this is the worst birthday party I ever had. Oh! Wait, what are you doing? No. Justice. And while we're actually over here, this is a lock. It's a keyhole. It's cool, right? But anyways, this is pretty much Dreadwood blocks. So these Dreadwood blocks are all in one way, just kind of one block, because the Dreadwood keyhole, sorry, actually connects all these Dreadwood pieces together. So if I were to have a key like such, I would be able to open it with the Gravemaster key, in which I take you to the next place we're going to go to, and probably the biggest part of this whole update. Okay, so we're in the middle of nowhere. This is known as a Mausoleum. These are the new structures that were actually added to Ice and Fire, and they hold a very sacred degree of evil in them, as you can see by the skulls on this thing. But today I came prepared, obviously, so I'm going to make sure that I don't die out here. And I think there's also a dragon underneath us. I couldn't find it earlier, but I'm not going to die today. I'm prepared. So anyways, according to the bestiary, if you actually were to fill up the whole entire bestiary, or bestiary as it's actually worded as, if you actually go in here under the Undead, which is another mob we're gonna see in a bit. Oh, this is pretty much the Undead's house. You know, like their frat house and such. If you were to go to the Undead frat house, you would not come out the same. And simply put, in order to get in, it's actually quite difficult. There's actually a few ways you can get in. You can either get in with the Gravemaster key, or you can do the carbon method, which we're going to try right now. I want to see if this thing is as indestructible as it says it is. So the chainsaw, you can actually, or at least an axe, you can use to like open up the Dreadwood. Or if you don't have a chainsaw, use a mining drill. All right, round 2, Deadwood. Oh, it does work. Okay, so a diamond axe would be able to break this. Yep, there we go. There's proof enough for you already. Can you break the keyhole too? No, you can't break the keyhole. Oh wait, you can, but it actually does take longer. All right, so that's nice to know. All right, good. So I think if you're gonna make an evil dungeon of the sorts, or at least something like this, where all the blocks are indestructible, but the only thing that's capable of being broken is the door, I think there are some flaws in your mastermind plan of whatever the dread or undead people have to conquer. All right, RPG fire! Wow. Okay. Okay. So while I'm messing around here, and these guns have nothing to do with the mod, I'm sorry, but just wanted to show you how you can actually open this door. Of course, we're gonna use the Gravemaster key. All right, you undead assholes! I brought my fucking pet dragon. You're all gonna die today. Hold up. Get me out of here. Get. Let's do this. Let's do this. Who the hell needs a Gravemaster key when I got a dragon? Fire! Thank you, Bepis Generation 4. So as you can see, the dragons can also, or if you have a dragon, you can also just burn the blocks to ashes, and then you can simply... Why are you guys following me? Hey, can you fight these people? These people are trying to beat me up. So once you have the blocks turned to ash, you can then simply just easily mine over them. And so now, in case you don't have a Gravemaster key, you can simply just do this. Although, if you are looking for in order to get a Gravemaster key, the only way to do that is actually finding Dread Knights or anything of the undead. Not these guys, but the true undead. Excuse me, Bepis. Anyone out here, they should be spawning in this area, but the undead usually spawn in the winter biomes, but right now there aren't that many, mainly because they're rare. But right now, while Bepis fights those people, or those things, I simply need to go. Oh, that's a witch. That's the first time I've ever seen you guys outside your house. I always thought they were hermits. Oh, there you go. So once you're actually inside the Mausoleum, it's actually just like one big dungeon. So you can simply just start looking around for any undead pigs, any undead beasts actually, and you can actually find dread shards here that will actually be useful for weapon making, which I'll show off later. But right now, there's a bunch of treasure that you can pretty much get. But now the main reason why you would actually want to be here is because of the special secret blocks that are really expensive and hard to get that I mentioned in the first ever Ice and Fire mod showcase, which was of course the Peppers, your tail's like clipping through this whole building. Is actually the Dragon Forge, which you can actually find in the center of the Mausoleum, which actually is only the Ice Dragon Forge because, you know, they live in a winter biome and it's cold here. So they also have a ice dragon that's also known as the Dread Dragon, or I don't really know the exact name, but it's the Dreaded Dragon. All right, it's the Undead Dragon. And the sad part is, here's a picture of it. You can't tame it or ride it. Only this queen, this lady, this bitch can simply ride it. And it sucks, because I wanted to tame it, and maybe they'll allow you to ride it. I don't know. Maybe something. I want a Dreaded Dragon. I feel like that should be a thing. I wanted to summon the undead for me, which is another thing that I can't do, but hopefully later they'll do that. Of course, there's also more treasure here in the dungeon and such, so you'll be able to actually get a bunch of good stuff here, especially sapphire, which sapphire is just used to make sapphire blocks and a bunch of other sapphire needs. And that's pretty much it. There's not a lot of mobs spawning in here because they're actually kind of rare, but usually in these dungeons there would actually be a bunch of dreaded mobs that you'd be able to have to fight against and survive. Pepe, your fucking wings are huge, dude. But yeah, that is the Mausoleum. Ow, I've been attacked. Get him, my child! Get him! Burn him! It's a war again, babies! We're back in World War III! This I had a Vietnam flashback for a second. Anyways, so pretty much now that we're back here, Great Master Key. It's fun stuff. Yeah, you can open the door with it too. See, watch. Behold. That's exactly what it looks like. I probably should have showed that off earlier, but I think the dragon was much more useful and much more... It's most likely the path you're going to take anyway. I mean, Great Master Key is a rare drop to begin with. But anyways, so... Did I mention it's also one-time use, which I did not realize until now. But anyways, so now let's go over the mobs, because I know that's what everyone's here for. Let's start with the one mob that I think everyone is familiar with for this update, is the Hydra. Now, the Hydra has a chance to drop all these beautiful things here, but I need to show you what the Hydra looks like, because this thing is terrifying. First, we need the right essentials and such, in case I do perhaps get killed by the immorality and abnormal nature of the Hydra. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna spawn him out here because I'm feeling brave right now. But anyways, so it's raining. Once you find him, once you actually find a Hydra, which is most likely in the swamp, and I think mostly the jungle. But once you go to the swamp, you will find this thing. It's poison! Ah! I think it's safe to go out there, buddy. Hey, friend. You chill? You good now? I mean no harm. You can't actually tame these, in case you didn't notice, but these things are pretty evil. They have the ability to spit poison at you. Alright, anyways. So, once you do find a Hydra of the sorts, you will notice that this thing, like all Hydras do in the great mythologies, you will notice that he has 3 heads, and they can spit poison at you. Normally when I thought of Hydra, I thought of like a giant 3-headed dragon, but I guess this is the more accurate one, considering it's... Well, it looks more scary than the actual Hydra that I know from the Twilight Forest dimension of things. But anyways, so, if you actually were to damage the Hydra and try to get its drops, or let's say the average Minecrafter here were to try to slice him, you will notice that you have just cut off one of his heads. But as all Hydras are, cut off one head, 2 more heads go back. And it's pretty scary, because if you keep doing this, the more heads the Hydra grows back, the harder it will be to like actually kill them. So, you're probably wondering, Carbon, how the hell do you kill this 4-headed snake man? Wait, is it 5 now? 5-headed snake man. Well, fear not, young warrior. I've dealt with the hands of bad, uncensored, and sexualized beasts such as this sexual deviant known as the Hydra. And in order to actually kill him, what you need to do is you need to set him on fire! Burning! And the problem is about this, or at least for the flamethrower, you actually need to make sure that his body's on fire, not exactly his heads, because the heads can regenerate. The body can't. So once you keep lighting him on fire, I know it's very hard to hear me considering the flames of death right now for the Hydra, but just bear with it. Remember, you're trying to kill this thing. You're not trying to make love to it. The point is, you need to set him on fire to the point where he's down to all the way to 1 head. Only then will you be able to kill him. If you could just burn... Can you, like, you know... Oh, nope. So let me actually see if I can fight this man without actually dying here. He's gonna spit poison at me. I'm gonna get chased around this whole... Oh! Ah! Nope. You ready to make my... Nope. No. Burn. Oh, I'm out of flames. No. Ow. Okay. Make sure not to burn yourself in the process of burning the hide. Can you fucking cook, goddammit? Alright, there you go. So now he has 1 head right now. So at this point, you can actually just go up to him and start slicing him. And now he's dead. And there you go. Once he has 1 head, you can then just start... You can get his innards, which of course he drops rotten flesh. And the most important thing of all, the Hydra Fang. This Hydra Fang is actually used for one purpose and one purpose only for now, which is to make arrows, which we'll go over that in a bit. But the other things he can actually drop are not only his skull, which you guys can see over here, along with the other bunch of skulls that I'm gonna show you guys real quick. I think that's the Sea Serpent. The Sea Serpent skull is much more bigger than the Hydra skull. But anyways, so the Hydras only have 1 size of skull, and it looks it's a Hydra. It looks like a snake, really, a giant snake. I guess that's what the Hydra is. I'm peeling, I know. This, of course, is the Troll Skull. This is the Cyclops Skull, and this is the Cockatrice Skull, and this is the this thing, Stymphalian. I think I spelled it right. Stymphalian bird skull, or as I like to call him, Storm Eagle, because that's much easier. Or Metal Bird. You can go with Metal Bird. And then, of course, we got here is the Sea Serpent Skull and the oh god, Hippogriff Skull. I almost forgot. Hey, Lily. Other drop that you can get, of course, besides the skull, is not only... Well, you don't get the arrow, but you do get the heart. This is known as a legendary weapon. This will simply heal you. I don't know if actually it's a one-time use, but pretty much when you eat it, it'll simply heal you, but to the degree of how much damage you've taken. So if you've taken a lot of damage, to say the point of 1 heart, not close enough. So anyways, once you eat this heart... Actually, I think it's already active, too. 1 in heart, yeah. You don't even have to eat it. All you have to do is have it in your hand, and it'll just simply regenerate for you. Not really a weapon, but it's more of just like a little enchantment and such. Having the beating heart of a Hydra. They should actually animate to make it beating. That'd be kind of scary. I mean, it wouldn't make sense, but it'd be cool. But anyways, so in order to make use of the Hydra Fang, as we mentioned before, you're gonna need 1 Hydra Fang, 1 stick, and 1 lily pad, and you can make yourself the Hydra Arrow, which this has the chance to not only poison, not a chance, it's certainty to poison and leeches life from the target. It's a pretty good weapon, pretty good. And of course, we actually do have a bunch of other arrows here before, which I don't know if I recall I do recall the Tide Arrow being a part of this, but I'm gonna review the rest again. So, for the Dragon Bone Arrow, which is, it's more or less just to kill dragons, you're gonna need at least 1 Witherbone Shard and 1 Dragon Bone, and you get the Dragon Bone Arrow. In order to get Witherbone Shards, you actually need to just kill Withers, but it's kind of hard because the chances of them, at least from what I tried, are actually really difficult. I just realized that this thing... You're not even using the houses! You goddamn freeloader! I don't know where that dimension leads. It's not the Nether. That portal's for something else, but all I can tell you is that it'll go somewhere. Anyways, so, with that being said, let's get on to the next mob here. So, now let's actually finally go on to the last set of mobs here, which is, this is gonna be a little bit challenging. Simply put it, because I don't have the blocks for it right now. I'm kind of lazy. But also, I kind of had to stop one of the Dread people from actually going berserk, if you will, and trying to go kill Lily. We do. Alright, so the first mob we're going to go over here is probably one of my favorites, is the Dread Knight. As you can see, for the Dread people, they actually rise up from underneath the ground, which I think is the coolest part about them. And with the Dread Knight, the cool thing about him is you can actually, if you kill him, you can get his sword and his shield especially. You can't get his armor, though. That's the sad part. But the Dread Knight, he's really strong. He, like, look at me. He, like, took down, like the entire God Apple in its entire effects already. And once you kill one of the Dread people, you have a chance to also get the Dread Shard. Very important. Look at my face. What the hell is that? Actually, you do need to be careful around mobs when it comes to the Dread people mobs, especially around them. Because you will know one thing about the Dreaded people is that they are the most infectious, parasitic things on the planet. For an example, I give you the pig. If they were to be in contact with, let's say, a Dreaded Knight, or even any Dreaded thing, For an example, let's go over the Dreaded Ghoul now. This guy is pretty much a better zombie, pretty much. It's an undead zombie, and simply put, if... Huh. I hear a spider. Hold on. Dread Ghoul, he's pretty cool. The cool thing about him is that he is no fool. But the cool thing about him is actually, look, he's look how happy he is. Look, once he tries to start swinging at you, he's much faster too, much stronger. So look, hey, look at me. He starts swinging, and he's really fast. He's really fast. I'm dead. So the final mob, they're actually not really the final mob, but pretty much the mob that will pretty much spawn in everything else in here from the Dreadlock gang, as I'm calling them, is the Dread Lich. Now this guy is pretty much a summoner who will summon, or Forger Master if you will, who can smell true painful. What are you looking at, buddy? What's down here? Let me see. What do you see? Hey! Yo! So what he'll simply do is he'll actually summon and actually throw undead skulls at you in case you... Let me see if I can spawn the pig here and see if I'll get him. Because usually he can once he like comes in contact with any of these... What's the dreaded mob? Oh! God! No. Get the pig. Oh wait, did he just summon something? Nope, he's... Oh, so whenever he shoots something with that staff, he also has a chance to summon that! Why are you here? Oh, he summoned them. He summoned them, and I am trapped. I am trapped with the dread people. And as you can see, he's summoning... Oh, that's the dread scuttler. Oh boy. So this is the dread scuttler and the dread skeleton. As you can see, I'm on fire. I'm dead. So yeah, with the Lich, strongest mob I've probably ever came across. Can simply put it, he can summon things faster than you can hit him. And the bad part is that he's not even a mini boss like the Hydra. He's the opposite. Did he just... Where did they go? Your fight's with me. Mini Godfather! So the next mob we're gonna go over is the Dread Lich horse. Now this guy is gonna die. Dread Knight horse, and simply put, if you were to have a Dread Knight next to it, which usually they spawn together, but he's gonna die right now if I don't do anything. But if I get his daddy... Well, that's sad. If I were to get, let's say, a Dread Knight, you will simply see that he'll instantly ride his Dread horse into battle. Before it... Oh, this ain't looking really good for both of you right now. This is... I mean, this shouldn't be that hard, too. It's like a 2-block space between... There we go. There. You happy? I now have a Dread Knight horse in captive and a Dread Knight. So yeah, as you saw before, this is the Dread Scuttler. Now this thing is probably the most terrifying thing ever because it's a spider and they grow in all shapes and sizes. And pretty much if it infects, if any of the Dread Liches or Dread Beasts infect the spiders or even Myrmexes, I think I've seen before, they'll actually turn into Dread Scuttlers. And they'll simply, they're scarier spiders. But it's not because they're big. That's just because they're from Australia. It's mainly because simply the fact that they can just, you know, harvest the souls of the damn they eat. I just made that up. They don't do that. I'm pretty sure they do though, considering they're dreaded beasts. Finally, we do have the dreaded beast, which of course was the thing you saw before. Not really finally, but the dreaded beast, which is a giant wolf. The dread thrall, which are just soldiers of the dreaded army. And they will simply serve the queen and only for the queen. Which, by the way, I mentioned the queen before. The queen is actually not in this update unless the next update comes out, probably tomorrow. So it's going to be in the future updates for now. But for right now, the dreaded army has already invaded Minecraft as it is. And then finally, the one thing that killed me, which is the Dread Lich. And this guy has the ability to summon more dread beasts to his disposal and also shoot magical energy at you. Let me just say, it's not as good, especially when you want to, considering it can turn your friends into dread beasts. Yes, it can do that. And I do not plan on being turned into one. But the final thing I wanted to go over is, of course, the new weapons that were added that came along with the Dreaded update. The Blade of the Dreaded Queen, which, of course, does not come with the Dreaded Queen. It does come with the Blade of the Dreaded Queen, which kind of looks cool. It doesn't really do anything right now. All it does is does 29 damage. So I can simply just go up to this thing and one-shot his horse and his posse in 2 hits. So this sword's pretty strong. It's a pretty strong sword. Final last tools here we got is the Staff of the Dreaded Queen, which you guys saw before. Oh no, this is the wrong one. This is the Staff of the Dreaded Queen, which it's supposedly... I'm hoping that this allows me to control the Dread Army. Because it's the staff of the Dreaded Queen. Like, if they see something shiny and it has Queen in the title of it, it has to be able to control the army. I'm having a hard time saying that because I am in disbelief that this does not summon anything, but I'm hoping it does in the future of future updates of Ice and Fire. Last two weapons we got here, which of course is the Dread Knight's sword, which you saw earlier is what the sword of the Dread Knights use. And apparently the shield's not here, but apparently the shield's just a shield with the custom Dread Knight stencil on it, or design. But yeah, Dread Knight's sword's not bad. It's not as good as the Blade of the Ice Queen, or Blade of the Dreadlock lady, but it's 17 damage. That's pretty good. I kind of look like one of them now that I'm holding this. And finally, you got the Dread Lich staff, which of course allows you to shoot out blue skulls, which I would assume would also forge some new servants for you and such if you shoot out, you know, these skulls. But the cool thing about them is that they actually have a good purpose to them if you don't know how to aim, because they're homing skulls and they simply attack anything that is near you, and you can simply then spam this to your heart's content, and then they will die. Sad part is they don't turn into undead beasts, and then you can't control them, but the cool thing about them is they actually have like a really good range. Like, they can actually go pretty far out. On top of that, though, besides the bestiary, of course, having a couple of different new chapters for you guys to find more information on the Hydra and the Undead army, or the Dreaded or the Dreadlock army, or whatever I've called it throughout this whole mod showcase update thingy-mabobber. There's also, of course, Ice Dragon Steel tools that were added, so now you have an Ice Dragon Steel hoe, Ice Dragon Steel shovel, and Ice Dragon Steel pickaxe. I'm 90% sure that these weren't actually in the mod showcase themselves, but at least now they are mentioned. And also, please make a whip. Please, just do me just give me. Look at my face. Just look at my eyes. As far as this update goes, I would say it's pretty good. I actually like it. I'm actually looking forward to a lot of the new mobs that are going to be added to Ice and Fire. Mainly the Shaman. This is the Shaman. I call him the Shaman because Fire Samurai, but the Shaman. With that being said, though, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below what you think, and let me know in the comments, especially what you are excited for Ice and Fire, for the Ice and Fire mod, and what you would like to see them add in particular. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe as always. I'm gonna go spray paint my face back. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!